Hello everybody, 𝗦𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗦, aka Camden here today, and welcome to episode 3 of Minecraft with Camden. Last episode, we spent some time underground building up the 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗦 Sanctuary, an ancient temple left behind by a civilization that really loved these amphibious critters. Today, I've come back down to decorate the mineshaft tunnels which branch from the main entrance. My hope is to make them look like temple corridors which this ancient society would have used to reach the lush caves where the 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗦s live. Honestly, the design that I'm going for down here isn't all that fancy. It's pretty basic. I've just been putting a lot of stone bricks in the walls, and I have been putting in some mossy stone bricks and some actual moss blocks into these columns here to make it look like the lush caves are kind of creeping out and through these corridors. It's a bit too uniform for my liking at the moment. It's just very predictable and very samey all the way through. So what I'm thinking I might do is after I put all this moss in these columns here, I might come back through and change it up. Maybe add some more moss here on these walls and next to these pools of water, just to make it look, a little bit more natural and, not like manicured. I might also put some of these lush vines in here to make it look like they're growing through. Maybe some dirt and grass on the floor. I don't know. It's a whole like trial and error process. I'm trying to make it look natural, but also like it's designed by the ancient civilization that once lived here. Yeah, I don't know. It'll take some time. This might be a project that I return to in live streams in the future. But for now, I'm liking it. And honestly, this whole 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗦 Sanctuary is probably one of my favorite mine entrances that I've done in Minecraft. It's just so grandiose. It's so, atmospheric. It's great. And I love coming over here and checking out my 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗦s just swimming around in this pool. They are getting stuck on these pickles a lot though, which isn't great. It makes them look really sad and depressed because they're not swimming around. Here you go, little guy. So we might have to substitute these pickles for a lichen so we still have that glow effect and it lets them swim around. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Oh, by the way, don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've changed my outfit a little bit today. Working down in these caves, especially with the lush caves, it gets pretty humid. And the flannel wasn't cutting it. I was getting too hot, so I decided to take it off, just wrap it around my waist a little bit, and we're going short sleeve today. It's pretty nice, honestly. But yeah, like I said, for today's episode... Oh. Was that an earthquake? There's only one thing by the lake that could have made such a big tremor. I think we need to go check on the rift. Oh, also, do you guys like the new paths that I've got going on by the lake? I'm really enjoying these. It's pretty simple, just packed mud and some packed mud bricks and some brown mushrooms. But, together it makes the path look a lot more established than it was when it was just path blocks. And also, I've been putting these fences and bushes, along the side. I think it just looks really nice. It's not much, but it does a lot to tie this whole area together. But good morning, Wallace. Oh yeah, that rift's definitely grown. Let's pull out my spyglass and take a closer look. Ooh, yeah, it's a lot taller than it was last episode, and also there's a lot of like nether growth coming out of it. A lot of netherrack, nylium, warped stems, and vines. Yeah, this is definitely new. Oh right, and some of y'all don't even know what this rift nonsense is. Basically, I live in a broken reality, and every once in a while these rifts form and things from other worlds tend to seep through. I don't know what's coming through this one, although, given all the nether growth coming out of it, I think we can kind of assume it's coming from the nether. But yeah, the bigger it gets, the closer we are to finding out. Last episode, I built a watchtower out here in the taiga. If you come around here, you can kind of see it. Yeah, it's over there. I built that to keep watch on the rifts, but honestly, I had other plans for today's episode, and I don't really want to spend the whole day up in the watchtower, so, 𝗦𝗘𝗙𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗦, can y'all do me a favor? Would y'all be willing to watch the rifts for me, and if anything starts to come through, or if it starts acting up again, could y'all fly over to me and get me so that way I can come and check on it? I would ask Wallace, but I don't think he can run over to me as fast as y'all can fly. So, if y'all could just keep watch, would you be willing to do that? Yes? Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Alrighty, so while they keep watch, I'm going to head over to the site for today's project. It's going to be a good one. I've been really excited for this build for ages. You guys are really going to enjoy it too, or at least I hope. Let's go check it out. Welcome everybody to the future location of Timbertown, this world's industrial district. This taiga here is going to become our one-stop shop for all kinds of building resources. But when I say industrial district, I don't mean that I want to build up massive modern factories. No, I want to stick with the cozy forest life that we're living and design this district to look like a rustic mill town. And with a place called Timbertown, I think it's pretty obvious what we're building first. A sawmill. Allow me to share with you my vision. As you just saw, I dug out a massive hole in the ground where the sawmill's gonna go. That's because the basement of this build is going to house a semi-automatic tree farm designed by ianxofour. I'll leave a link in the description to his tutorial, but it essentially works as follows. When using the farm, I'll be sitting in a safe enclosure, planting and bone mealing saplings while a TNT duper from above blows up trees and drops the byproduct into a water stream below. This stream will automatically sort wood into chests, throw sticks in the fire, compost apples, and redeliver additional saplings to me. The reason I decided to build the farm in a hole beneath the sawmill instead of on the surface is because it's fairly big. Designing a sawmill to fit around the farm would have made it much bigger in scale than I would have wanted, and then we run the risk of the TNT duper backfiring and blowing up the walls of the sawmill, which I just didn't want. Throwing all the functional bits of this farm into the ground and leaving the top as like a nice aesthetic facade was just the better option. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this build started. You guys didn't think that I was just going to build a sawmill, did you? Because obviously with a sawmill, you're going to need a lumberyard. And with a lumberyard, you're really going to have to transform the environment, because with a sawmill, the environment is what tells the story of this build. If you had a sawmill just in the middle of like a normal forest, like it doesn't fit, right? You need to have chopped trees everywhere. You need to have a lumber yard where you're storing all the wood and stuff. Like you gotta do a lot of work with the environment to tell the story of the sawmill. And even though it took a lot of time to do that, I really like how this has all come together, especially when you get like a bird's eye view of everything. And yeah, it's really, really cool. Now, I'm going to be a little transparent with y'all. I have a bit of a yapping problem. I talk a lot and I ramble a lot, and it's just because there's so many little details in this build that I want to point out that aren't really necessary to spend too long talking about. But for some reason, my brain convinces me that I need to yap about them. So I'm just going to show y'all the highlights of this whole area. And if y'all want more in-depth explanations over everything, y'all can go check out the VODs on my Camden aka 𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗏 channel, where I upload my VODs, because a lot of this build was done on stream, and over there I went a little bit more in depth over everything. But we're just going to do the highlights out here, starting with the water tower. This water tower honestly wasn't necessary for this build because it really doesn't have anything to do with the sawmill or the lumberyard around it, but it's something that I designed in a creative test world for Timbertown that I really liked, and I felt like it helped kind of bring this area all together. So it's really simple. It's literally just a water tower. I added some mud bricks and some dripstone to kind of make it look like it was rusting in a few spots all over. And also on the inside, it's functional. It has a sugarcane farm with these AFK sugarcane modules in here. They're really self-explanatory. Obviously, the sugarcane grows up once it's 3 high. It triggers that observer, which triggers the pistons to push the sugarcane down into this water stream, and that water stream funnels it through this hole in the bottom here, where it will hypothetically and hopefully get caught by this hopper here. And I say hopefully because I've come over a couple of times and there is, you know, 1 or 2 sugarcane that might land like here or just kind of around the hopper. It's not 100% accurate. There is a bit of a loss with the sugarcane that comes through, but I don't think it's a huge problem. Obviously, as you can see here, it's fairly efficient so far. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. I don't need sugarcane all that often anyways, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Then over here, as you can see, the puzzle transitions into dirt, and that's because I like to imagine that with all the wood that we're dragging through here, with stuff like this forklift driving through a bunch, you know, we're going to wear away at the ground. All the puzzle's going to be picked up and kind of drug off, and with that, the area is just going to be a lot more barren, a lot more just like dry dirt, kind of like you see with construction sites. And so, yeah, I thought that felt natural to have it look like this. We've got a lot of just supplies lying around, wheelbarrows and crates and stuff like that. Over here to the left, I like to imagine that we're kind of replanting some spruce saplings and little saplings to make it look like we're trying to, you know, protect the environment. You know, we're chopping a lot of trees down, but we don't want to ruin the taiga. We want to kind of take care of it. So this is kind of our tree nursery. I don't know if that's what you would call it in real life, but, you know, it's where we're taking care of the trees. And then over here on the right side of the sawmill, we've got all of our finished wood that came out of the sawmill kind of stacked up all over the place. We've got the raw wood over here that will be going into the sawmill. It's all tied down by these ladders and tracks to kind of make it look like ties. Yeah, just a lot of little details, a lot of leaf bundles and stuff like that. I think it looks nice. This thing right here is supposed to be like a track or a conveyor belt that this wood is pulled on. You know, the raw wood goes in on that side, it gets pulled through. This is where the saw would have been that cuts up the wood. I like to imagine that this is just the axle, because I tried to design a saw that would look nice, but I really couldn't. I couldn't find any blocks that looked like a saw, so I was just like, maybe the saw's been taken out, it's gone, and all we have left is the axle. But yeah, as you can see, I do need a little bit more iron to finish this conveyor belt, because anvils are expensive. You have to have 3 blocks of iron and then 4 more ingots on top of that, all just for 1 anvil. And obviously, I need a lot of anvils for this track, and I don't have an iron farm, so I'll have to come back and finish that. But with this being an abandoned sawmill, I don't think it really matters that it needs to be done like right now. On the sawmill itself, I was continuing trying to play around with the gradients. I've got like light brown blocks at the bottom, like dirt and coarse dirt, and then it works its way up to the dark brown blocks, like this mangrove log and these dark oak stripped logs, just to kind of make it look like, you know, the bottom, obviously we're carrying stuff around a lot, we're bumping into the sides of the walls, we're going to have the wood chipping away, so it's going to be lighter brown, and then at the top it's more exposed to the elements, the rain, the smoke and smog from this chimney over here. So I feel like it's like more stained wood. It makes sense for it to be a bit dirtier up there. On the inside, I really wanted this place to feel lived in, and my way of making a place feel lived in is making it messy, making it look like things have just been left everywhere, that the people that were working in here just kind of set things to the side and then never came back. Obviously, we've got a lot of stacks of wood and crates everywhere. We've got the walls kind of falling apart and being like, you know, covered up with signs, like we're trying to keep it all together. We've got a hole in the ceiling with leaks, and I've got these lightning rods to kind of look like pipes. We've got all of these little like functional blocks and redstone blocks just kind of on the walls to make it look like there are machines here. Obviously, these don't do anything. I'm not actually using this as like a blast furnace, or I'm not using these cauldrons for anything. But together, it really looks industrial and really cool, and I really like it. Especially this one right here. I like to imagine this is the control panel for like this machine here, the conveyor belt and the saw above. You know, again, doesn't do anything, but it looks cool. Same with these over here, these little pulleys. I just put invisible item frames on the end of these chains, and I put some copper blocks in there to make it look like little balls that you just kind of pull and trigger stuff in this pipe or whatever. Yeah, a lot of little details that are really cool. Plus, I've got that flickering light above me, which I think is nice. It's just a redstone clock in the ceiling. It's very, very cool. Then out back, I need to be a little careful because it's night and there are mobs everywhere, but I wanted to show you all this over here. This is actually a bamboo farm. If I open this barrel here, let me go inside while I show y'all this. But if you go into the attic of the sawmill, there's a lot of empty space here that I didn't want to go to waste, so I made bamboo farms. They work the same way as the sugarcane farm, so I don't really need to explain them to you, but the bamboo falls on this mud down here, and since it's not a full block, it gets picked up by hoppers underneath. The only reason this is sitting here is because the hoppers are full, but the hoppers then funnel all of the bamboo down this chimney stack here into the barrel where I can go and collect it, and then I've just been storing it over here in these barrels because, you know, with 120 it added all of the new bamboo wood blocks, and I was like, I kind of want to keep that with the wood farm that's underneath this place, but you know, it doesn't work in that TNT chamber, so putting it in the attic, you still get it here from the wood farm, and all's good. And speaking of the farm made by ianxofour, it's actually down here in the basement, kind of covered up by this trapdoor here. If you go down, you can see we have ourselves a little control room for the farm. And if I hop off the ladder here, boop, you can see I don't take any fall damage because if you put carpet on top of powdered snow, it actually negates fall damage, which is really helpful when you have long ladders like this that you don't want to have to sit on all the way to the bottom. You can just jump off, not have to worry about fall damage, and it's really nice. But yeah, this is the control room for the TNT chamber. This is what I was kind of showing y'all a minute ago, how it works. It works just as I described it. I go into this chest here and get some bone meal. And here I've got saplings. I don't have all the saplings. You can't use mangrove saplings or dark oak in this farm. It's just the ones in here, plus the nether trees that I just don't have the mushrooms for, but they'll go right here. But yeah, these are all the woods that you can use in this farm. I'm just going to use birch for my demonstration. If I flick that lever, in here it triggers the TNT duper, which drops the TNT and completely blows up here. So I just put the saplings in my offhand, and I hold right click on the puzzle block. It'll grow up the tree. Oh, not a bone meal. But it'll blow up the tree, and then, yeah, all of the byproduct gets funneled down into that water stream below, where it eventually, if I open up this chest, will get sorted in here. There we go. There's a little bit of wood. But yeah, you really have to, like, sit and AFK at this thing for a while to get a lot of wood. But, you know, you don't lose anything. You don't really lose wood to the TNT, so that's nice. It's pretty efficient, pretty easy to use, and yeah, I really didn't decorate this basement area to be too fancy because this is like the functional element. It doesn't need to look fancy while using it, but I did try to like make it not boring, you know. I put pipes everywhere, trying to make it look like it's overgrown, like the leaves are kind of coming through. We've got gears on the walls, more of those functional blocks, trying to make it look like there's like functional machines up there when there's really not. I don't know, it's nice. Okay, I'm going back up. Let's hope that it's daytime, there are no mobs. Okay, I think we're safe. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of this build. Very detailed, very big, but it's pretty simple at the end of the day. All of like the functional elements and stuff. It works as a tree farm. It looks nice out here in this lumberyard, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But we're not done for today's episode, you guys. Just one more thing that I wanted to do today. While I was building this thing, many days and many nights have gone by, and I have come across, I think, like 3 different pillager patrols. This must be one of their regular routes that they patrol all the time. And I don't know what they're doing out here. I don't know what they're looking for, but part of me suspects it has something to do with our 𝗨𝗍𝗓𝗧 that we keep back home. And that's because, if y'all remember, back when I first moved out here to the lake, I found a nearby outpost where some pillagers were stationed, and they actually had the 𝗨𝗍𝗓𝗧 held captive there. So I freed them, obviously, because I didn't want to see them, like, you know, tortured there. But I think the pillagers are mad about that, and they're trying to find them again. And they don't realize that they're over there by the lake. They're kind of touring the 𝗦𝗘𝗏 at the moment. But if we let them go on for too much longer, they might find them eventually, and that can be dangerous. So what I want to do is I want to kind of camp out here in the lumberyard for a little bit and see if I can find another patrol come by. I don't know how regularly they tour this area, but it must be fairly regularly since I saw like 3 of them in the process of making this build. So yeah, we're just gonna camp out, and then once they come by, we're gonna not kidnap them, but detain them maybe for questioning. Oh my gosh, thank goodness you're awake. I was scared but it's all good. You're alive, and you can help me out now.
Where am I? Where's Hendrik?
Oh, your friend. He, well, you know what? I actually took care of him. Yeah, give me a second. What am I doing? Naomi was always the bad cop. I'm not cut out for this. The other guy actually got away, but maybe I can trick his friends here into thinking I got him. Yeah, you see that? You won't be seeing him anytime soon. Or, like, ever, because, like, Okay, you know what? Just never mind him. He's gone, and unless you want to end up like him, you're gonna tell me what I want to know. Firstly, what were you 2 doing out here in the taiga? You're a long ways away from your outpost.
We were looking for lost property, that's all.
Oh, lost property, eh? What might that be? Something that hasn't always belonged to you, I would assume?
It's none of your business.
Well, it became my business once you set foot near my lake. Your kind has a reputation for looting rift sites, don't you? You like that good multiverse loot? Well, I think you should know I have connections with the Rifters. One call from me and they'll shut down your whole operation.
Oh, you haven't heard about them?
Haven't heard what?
Oh, the Rifters have fallen. Some resistance attacked them a few months back. They haven't been seen since.
The Rifters? But how? They're the strongest governing body in the universe. You're saying they attacked the Nexus?
I don't know the details, and frankly, I don't care. All I know is that with them gone, this world's gonna be a better place. We're free to do what we want now. My turn to ask questions. Are you gonna let me go, or am I gonna have to wait for Hendrik to come back with a larger patrol? It's your choice.
Fine. Go. Hey, please, stay away from me and my lake.
We'll see about that.
Well, you guys, truth be told, I don't know where to go from here. I probably could have gotten more information out of that pillager if I had just pressed him a little bit more, but he mentions the rifters, and it just kind of threw me for a loop, and I didn't know where else to go from there. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe next episode I should go check on the rifters, because like surely they're not gone, right? Like Nexus is a huge city. Surely it wasn't just like wiped away. Like, you know, I don't know. But whatever the case, if I do choose to go check on them, I'll have to do it next episode. But yeah, for today, I think this is a good place to end the episode. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. We did a lot out here. We completely transformed this environment into a lumber yard. We built this really cool sawmill building with a really cool farm underneath. And yeah, I am super happy with how this has all turned out. If you guys enjoyed this episode as well, please be sure to leave it a like, share it if you liked it, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And with that, I will see you guys all. Oh, whoa, hello. Hey there, you kind of scared me. I didn't see you there for a second. What's going on? Oh no. Oh yeah, it's happening. Whatever's on the other side of that rift, it's coming through.